in. Now, sit down. Let's open ACC. Yeah, I know these controls are quite discharged, but that doesn't matter too much. I'm not gonna use them to drive after all. We just need to switch some stuff on in terms of overlays and calibrate the model. Show place calibrate. Okay, so glovies. So hello, can I get mouse movement, please? Hello, I know the keyboard is connected, so you can... Yeah, you can move the mouse. So, multiplayer. Let's check. Are they listing the car on the... So, here's the server. They're using primary, so we will change our primary car over. GG4. Because, yeah, this is this is the next best car I have, which is Team Iris livery. Right, there's a password required, which I don't know off the top of my head. Which I need to steal right now. It's the fun of morning. Okay, I've done some flight sim streams that adds till like 6 in the morning, okay? Okay. Kind of have done them. Yeah, where is... Okay, here it is, the password. They put it onto the SimGrid page. Neat. To list something. Paste. Connect. And now let's let the game load for a moment. Huh, there's not many people here. Really not many. You know, the event's qualifying starts in about 23 minutes. Briefing is about to start in 13. So I desperately need a bit of driving experience. Question is, did I end up on the correct server or not? Oh no, I'm not on the correct server. I see, but what's the correct password? Because it's supposed to be the race server. Hold on, but like the timing is correct for this. Yeah, that is the correct server. That's worrying. Yeah, there are supposed to be 11 signups, and you know, yes, I don't expect much from this series. I don't even expect it to last the entire season, right? The schedule is a bit funny with it. There is way too many races for this to actually survive long. It's on a like 2-week schedule, but there's like 1 week actually skipped at one point, and there's like a massive break from May 30th to August 1st. But yes, otherwise there is March 28th, April 11th, May 2nd, May 16th, May 30th, Yeah, that's August 1st, September 5th, September 19th, October 3rd, and then October 10th. A lot. I think you could definitely run this with GT3s. You would definitely get a lot of signups, but like a Cup 3. Yeah, it's not great, but like, you know, I wanted to drive something. I decided, like, it's odd, it's weird, I'm gonna take a punt at it. Am I gonna see the season out? I don't think that this championship is gonna see the season out, but, you know, it's something. But I would have expected, you know, to have more than one other person turn up. Although it could be that people are practicing offline right now because limited tire sets. Ooh. Because yeah, there's only 2 tire sets because we have to spice it up. And while they do explicitly allow you to leave the server during practice, you're not allowed to do that after qualifying starts though, to get a fresh set. So yeah. I may just not see people online right now. Let's get the car trim then. And the setup is very conservative, this aggressive trim. Max the camber on the front. Lower the toe on the rear. There's not much temperature on the server, so let's up the pressures by an entire PSI on all wheels. Desperately needed, likely. Reload the ABS. Probably lower also the TC to 1 and see how that works. Or not. Click on the rear suspension for softness. Rear wing at 1, that sounds okay-ish. But brake duct down to 3, I don't think we're gonna need much more. Right, this is gonna either completely murder me or still understeer like a boat.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
Good question. In some... I'm gonna calm it. Come on. Keep me in position, that's vaguely good. The thing is, AC is not... I don't like competing really in leagues in AC. The sim is not particularly working well for that. The netcode isn't great. And stuff. There's obviously a bit more car variety, that's for sure, you can get stuff. And it is a lovely game for doing cruises and stuff. And yeah, it's thing was like, I mean, I made this like lengthy article back in like December, and like, yeah, there wasn't complete drought early December, but like by late December, the leagues had already started scheduling their series for January, and there was again a decent selection for January. And now that the seasons that had started in January have wrapped up, basically, we're sort of just stuck in a limbo now because quite a few leagues have now. Well, specifically the one of them that I drove in, Amigos, decided to shut down. And the main answer there would be to go to LFM for them, because they went over to being an LFM league. Oh yeah, rain in 7 minutes. That's fun. Light rain in 7 minutes. But in general, I think I also need to just sit down and... I think we need to move the brake bus. And also brake earlier for turn 1. and actually look a bit more at what is available and upcoming. Maybe also jump over my own shadow a bit with it. Ah, we got at least one more person. So this thing has a lot of understeer from the setup. Like, it still doesn't rotate all that much. It stopped pretty decently though. I never drove this car that much. I drove it like once or so. Not many times I've driven the Cayman. I've usually been in GT4 a driver of other cars. Driven McLaren, the KTM Crossbow, the Maserati, obviously, infamously. Well, do really leagues run the race room all that much? That's a good question as well, and also just... I don't really want to buy right now into race room, outside of a sale. Right. I desperately need to kind of like actually be on top of when race room maybe gets a sale on there, if they actually do sales again on the complete bundle, as a way to relatively cheaply buy in. Because yeah, sure, you can buy individual pieces or buy one of the smaller bundles, but like they often don't contain really enough to really do much in the sim. It also do be time slots, although this series also runs pretty late, which is probably not helping it either. But then again, this is a Spanish league, you know? So that's probably the reason why we're having such a late evening start. And they do be slightly peculiar because they have done stuff like do I think it was it a 4-hour race or 12-hour race, something like that, with the V12s around Barcelona. Only Aston Martin V12. So they are for sure a bit peculiar, these guys here. Such a nice rotation into there. But yeah, there's definitely sims. I should sit down and actually look at what is available on the table once. I should also work on data race. Having to boot into Windows is not something I desperately like to do. Also make certain other things work better. Oh fuck. God damn it. So there are a couple leaks still running with the ACC. Oh yeah, our tire pressures are way too high in the front. But could be also because of my massive slider I had there. Problem is we have rain incoming in a moment. And it will obviously just destroy any numbers I get off the front tires. Yeah, truly. It's been a while. My last racing stream I think was on the 16th, so like over 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, last night I flew in here from Cologne, so that was the headlights. We shall see, I say. We shall see. I mean, I had already a moment here on this lap. Yeah, there's other things that I just need to... Woo-yee!
We have some light damage at the rear of the car.
Yeah, you do truly be skilled a few times. That I did utterly not react to that one. I know the track is getting wet and we're running with 1 TC, but like, come on. I shouldn't be losing this amateurly. My car. It's only light rain. It's gonna continue being early light rain for a while now. Jesus, the understeer from the rain. Hello, carousel. But yeah, it's part of me of like actually doing something. Weta's optimum. Haven't even finished the in lap yet. At least the race only has 2x time acceleration, so we can at least see 15 minutes ahead of time on the weather will be. It's not much, but at least something. Yeah, I need to, like, actually committing to series. I need to also commit to maybe asking people to finally do an endurance race with me. That for sure needs to also happen. I need to become proactive on these things. But yeah, right, that was not a valid time, that's why. He's gonna ask for you to drive back to the pit lane. While we're doing so, we can briefly pull up here and get on the Discord channel, because they asked for it for driver's briefing purposes. And not like there's not a need for a driver's briefing with like 4 people. Oh, audio setup, or are these guys just not talking? Both are very possible. I'll just roll around until we hit the pit lane. But yeah, this series might be very short-lived at this rate. Oh yeah, right, I turned my wheel at the two whips down here on now buttons because I was playing Euro Truck Sim. Somebody's also driving in purple and pink. God damn it, same color scheme roughly. Same colors. Not really the same color scheme. Perez has showed up. Right, okay, we want to... Obviously this tire's got immediate damage with raining. I wanted to shift the... Check my audio. Yeah, audio is correct. I guess no briefing here. No, there's some... Guess there won't be any briefing really at this rate. We need to, however, get out of the server and get back in. So, okay, definitely my audio is working. Detach the rear wing. Oh yeah, we need to fix the tire pressures. They were too high on the fronts. Series 7 too high on the fronts, and go 0.3 down on the rear. So in the rain this doesn't matter too much, but safe. Yes, so I'm gonna make use of our ability to escape out and get a fresh set of tires. It's polar regulations. Well, I'm not interested in driving around on burning a tire set on that. That is not necessary. Wet tires. Interesting how the car gets lifted up when you put wet tires on the car. Whoop. 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 I'll likely be full here, because there's no real reason to not run a full fuel tank. Let's briefly keep these tire pressures here. Oh yeah. Windscreen wiper, headlights, and rain light.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
Is anything gonna happen here? I mean, we have half the grid only showing up, so that's already not a good sign. Brake was far more rewards, because when wet. Decided to not really stop there. We're running the ABS already at 1, so it shouldn't interfere too much. Maybe it's a bit tail happy. Tad bit, not much. But it could also be our way too low tire pressure, so I'm not helping. We're like miles off the reference. Because I drove out on the dry pressures. And known fact is that the wet tires do like to be very twitchy, in particular on low pressures. Dries do it as well, but you usually operate the dries closer to the minnow. Brakes? They just didn't turn up for turn 1. What an improvement! And you had to say something because we're down to 5 now. Well, it could be another person cycling briefly in and out to get fresh tires. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, there has not been a driver briefing, so. Okay, there was decent stopping power this time. Yeah, it's a bit dry for the wet tires. They're getting a bit warm. This time it vaguely slowed down, but I think I also broke a lot earlier. But yeah, we need to be more aggressive on the brake bias, more rewards. Guarantee whoever qualifying is going to be either completely drenched or dry. There's no in between.
Bueno, reinicio, ¿eh? Salimos.
Vale,
Bueno, reinicio. Voy a parar, vamos.
pero salimos.
Sí, 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 salir. Welcome, Lukas.
Welcome.
Welcome. I restart the server, okay, without the free practice.
Okay.
Only 1 minute the free practice to enter, only to enter, and the quali directly and race, okay?
Okay.
Bueno, chicos, las normativas del tema de escape son las mismas, ¿vale? Haremos la salida con corta, digamos, no haremos toda la vuelta.
Yeah, now we have to wait for server to come back online.
Pues bueno, hay 10 minutos de crono. Yo os pediría que no os demoréis mucho, porque luego está el tiempo para que termine, con lo cual ya tenemos mucho tiempo de espera después, ¿vale? Nos da tiempo luego a cambiarnos de camiseta y ducharnos casi hasta que empiece la carrera, ¿vale? Porque no me permite, de quali a carrera no me permite pasar a la sesión, ¿vale?
Ok.
Entonces, luego, por favor, los conos, está prohibido tirar ningún cono de los que hay en recta en el quali, ¿ok?
Ok.
No sé cómo se dice cono en inglés.
Volar.
Hostia puta. Lucas, is forbidden both the cons in the straight line in the quali. The cons in the straight line is forbidden both these, okay?
Yeah, I can't cross through the cones in the straight line on the pit straight.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, the server is restart. Good luck. Bueno, buena suerte,
Thank you.
chicos.
Venga. Voy
A disfrutarlo.
a mutar esto y entrar.
Yep, server up.
Green light, go, go, go.
Good luck.
Good luck.
There's 1 minute of free practice remaining. Can load our setup in. Then prepare for qualifying. Yes, I don't think they're bad. I think I might have raced even over these guys before. Because I remember vaguely, I think it was either an Italian or Spanish league that like similarly had their event information on the page in Italian, in English and the native language.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Right, 10 minutes. So I'm expecting too long in terms of qualifying here. Pack 30 liters, that's more than enough. Temperatures, still decently cold. Right. I have to qualify after all.
Low tire pressure. Stay clear of the curbs.
But yeah, it's a 1 hour 20-minute race, so we shall see. Sure as hell do not have much time to do our quality run. Oh, and yeah, well, I'm qualifying. I should just verify. Because now someone else has also decided to follow me out onto the circuit. So put the keyboard away. I was browsing briefly the event list. I did enable even AC as a filter. Any championship, so solo and multi, but the championship as filter on SimGrid. And anything with an open grid. So not even just upcoming, just leagues that are technically already running. And the first few results are always ACC. So just, I guess I have to do commitment here. That's the main thing. Yeah, because I'm the first one out, I don't have to deal with any traffic. Which is pretty good. 27 liters in the tank now. We should have enough fuel to get around and do our in-lap. Or short in-lap. Because that was also something requested. Its tire pressure is there on the low side for sure. Maybe I did lower them too much after my slip in practice. Whatever, we just have to put up with that now. Whee! The NSD again. Nearly catching us out there. There's two of them following really close to each other, like 2 seconds separated. Not a particularly big brain moment there. Five minutes in the session remaining. One shot qualifying. One shot indeed. Yeah, we're definitely having not much ride height here. We have to spare. I think Capsy behind me might be actually faster than me. Relying on the ACC gap, which is not particularly accurate, because I don't have a reference lap in that allows me to get an actually accurate lap time difference. Yeah, front tires look fine, the rear tires are definitely low on pressure. Especially if this is now a long straightaway section. Stay in fifth. I think yeah, down gearing to fourth is probably a good idea. Jesus. Oh, nearly fell off the carousel there. Oh god, can we taking flat? Yeah, this section I had only driven in damp conditions before. Whee! This thing also wants to overstay here and dry. That's interesting. Good to learn. Oh fuck no!
Got some light damage on the front of the car.
Come on. Drove too much curb. That's it. It's Jova. Qualifying done for me. Not that it matters too much, but still quite sucky. Also means I don't have accurate tire pressure numbers now because that's obviously just superheating my tires. to do? Should I increase the ride height on this car? Oh, okay, this is me having a brain fart. I forgot to turn. Washed completely. Isn't the point of doing a full in lap. We're gonna just head straight into the pit lane. I think the pit lane entry is partially blocked, which is kind of the issue. Still gonna check the tire pressure numbers here. Even though we had the superheat moments. Okay, the car barely got stopped there. Yeah, let's just do an in-lap. There's nothing to harm here.
Session is now over.
Yeah, 9 minutes 15, not great. 9 minutes flat, he is probably in it. So I need 2 massive offside and not up. Now I missed actually my tire pressure values. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna need to up them by like half a PSI. Yeah, 58, 59 too. This would have been tight for sure. Not sure I would have been able to beat that, but yeah, I mean P2 for sure. That would have been easy over Iglesias. Nah. I mean, this lap is already not valid because the time is up. My forehead is itching. Take the headset off after this run. Sort of unlearning how to drive right now while I'm doing my lap. Not bad. We have 2 hours worth of racing ahead of us. But it's obviously gonna be difficult if somebody is roughly doing the same lap times as me. Because as always, there's at least one other alien on the server with me. An alien doesn't really come alone. And there's obviously Paris who hasn't even put a quality lap in, so we have no clue if he's actually fast or not. Mula also didn't put a particularly fast lap in. Both of which would have beaten me if my lap was valid that I just did, but whatever. Oh. That was completely by accident. What? Ah! Oh, and they've set up the server so you can't reconnect. Why are you like this? I accidentally selected the wrong menu point. Like, I must have just graced the fucking button. And it's just fucking... That's it. Mm. Yeah, completely fucking accidental. Like, come on, why is it done like this? It's like, I had correctly selected return to garage, right? That was the marked point. So I pressed my thumbstick here, and I must have just barely moved it downwards, so it jumped down and then activated a press on the next option down, which apparently was leave server, and both of which you have to give a prompt to confirm. So I just blindly fucking confirmed it because I knew. And before I could process the text that was in front of me, I was already out of the server. So great. Awesome. Yeah. Can't join during race sessions. Great. I guess... Yeah, that's just... How to sum this up? Pain pickle. Just pain. It's like, bruh, what do I do now? Yeah, go to bed, I guess? Should plan to at least run the race. Can join server during race sessions, yeah. Let's see if they reply to me back in the Discord, but probably we won't see anything. Kizumiri is doing something. Stream notifications. Oh, she's doing practice. Unfortunately, because I'm banned from track, I cannot really join her to practice. You know. Kind of an issue. I should definitely not show up on the server. That's like something I don't... It's like, even if it's just, I'm not interested in driving in your series, I just want to spend time with people. Especially after what just happened to me. But yeah, it's Bathurst. She's practicing at Bathurst. And she's driving the Caymen GT4, as far as I can tell. Let's check back with that server again. Yeah, they're probably already in the race session at this point, so it's not worth really. Man, that happened like 2 months ago at this point, precisely. That happened 2 months ago. There's a reason why I'm not driven in V-Track anymore. Weren't you there when we talked about that even? In the Discord. When you even there, like, when we recently, while I was playing Euro Truck Simulator, talked about this, right? Let's briefly refresh, let's check. No, it's still listed as qualifying. The server is still in qualifying. It tells me that I can't join during race sessions, which is really funny. You probably joined later, because I remember you being there. Like, you were in that voice chat. But, like, you probably joined after that was talked to. You didn't, I think, get the memo completely of just, like, yeah, things happened. It's like, there was an unfortunate series of mistakes a bit too close together. Plus just unfortunate misunderstandings in general. Which is, I think, most of the mistakes. Some things came together. For sure. I feel like at some point I need to write this down and my feelings about this entire thing. And also, I didn't want to fucking stir this shit up for no reason. Again. I have my issue with an individual for sure involved in the entire thing, right? I have my issues with a few modders involved in this issue. But it doesn't matter too much. My current strategy for the entire thing is we just stay low and come back in a year. Yeah. I've not done particularly much worse than Midnight Hurricane in my opinion, so I don't think that it's not much of an issue. It's just like this is a bit of bad coincidence that like, oh yeah, there's an interesting series fucking track. That, you know, I obviously still have friendly relations with some of the people there. Sure, it's because I'm on Windows, I can't chat actually. Or not chat. Yeah. It's on the server is still not showing as transitioned into the race session. It's still listed as a Qualy session. And I'm pretty sure everybody has done it. Oh, they probably set a really long after session time. I'm hearing this. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time somebody completely missed this happening. Wouldn't be the first time. Somebody really, like, some of the competitors even missed this happening. Right. I think I'm gonna just dump on you the message I wrote for who is it? Rainy Dreamfox. Because I gave her a decent breakdown of the entire thing. So, see, where are you? Find or start conversation. I mean, we could also do, you know, LFM. I could do some LFM because I really don't want to just end the stream at this point, right? It's not that I feel like this. What do you mean it's... no, I have 110 characters left. Good. This is the first half? Is... no, not halves. I have actually 3 parts. Jesus. And this is me trying to summarize it as best as possible. Which is like the fun part here. This was me just trying to summarize it a bit as well as possible. Things very quickly escalated around that time. One of the points that is one of that I really like to make is that I wanted to start into the year of just like getting involved a bit more because I just thought I'm out of the loop with people because of me. I wanted to push myself in. Yeah, that's just terrible luck. Like crash out in qualifying and then I was like, oh god, it's a fucking lot of text. Fun part is the person who flexed their lap times actually won in AM this season, 1 round. They had been running pro class from the in the beginning, and they got demoted back down to AM and like actually won a race, which is pretty good. But yeah, I got banned officially from track Discord on the 28th of January. my birthday, which was this like, yeah, that was some fucking fuckery. But I mean, you know me also for a while now. You also know me of having gotten banned previously from, what's it called, CFEG or CFS. Check out Flag Endurance Group, or check out Flag Sim Racing League. I don't know what their later name was. That I got banned from there as well at some point. This explains the status. Yeah, it's where I got banned as well. It's like I have a tendency to run into people head first, especially if I think being treated not quite right. But no, one of the points earlier this year was to try getting myself involved more, to like approach people, to you know, socialize a bit more, right? To push more forwards. Because I was operating on the assumption that, like, yeah, most of the, especially the sim racing VTubers, they forget I exist because outside of me winning races, because I don't interact with them. So they forget I exist. Right, so I will interact with them more. Like, turns out they weren't, you know, ignorant towards me. No, they fucking hated me. Like, at least some people kind of disliked me. And yeah, that's not great to figure out. Especially this way. People, there are definitely people who disliked me. And this kind of also goes further back than like this series of events, right? This was just how it completely escalated off the rails. Some people kind of disliked me before this. I had a clue that, like, Akito kind of didn't like me. There was, over a year ago, after we had this really great fight at Laguna Seca, and Akito made a specific. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, Akito. It'd be like, yeah, this was an awesome fight. Like, Akito was like, hey. Yeah, the race is now 57 minutes remaining on it. Oh, I can suddenly load in? Huh? What's going on here now? Why can I suddenly load into the session? Why does this suddenly work? Oh yeah, the race hasn't... we're actually gonna get to race. We have to do a pit lane start, but it's gonna work. We're gonna get to have a race here, but we'll have to pit lane start. That's fine, that's acceptable. Gonna select tire set 2. So, my plan was anyway, we're not gonna change tires in this race, we're gonna just run on one set. Yeah, I'm slightly insane. So yeah, we're gonna have a race here. This is not dead yet. Yeah, it was just blocked in classic ACC fashion because you're not allowed to load into a server while it's in the transition phase of the in-between sessions. So, yeah, ignition on, pit limiter on.
Green light, go, go, go.
Let's let the start happen. Because we have to wait for people to pass by. Should perhaps put it into first gear, you know?
No digression, stay away from curbs.
You know, helps. Let's see what we can do here. Right down there they are. We're also down again to 5 drivers, so... yeah. But yeah, I am in... because of all of that, I'm definitely in a bit of an interesting position. One of the things I think, say when you were present was, that I definitely want to get back to doing endurance races. It's been so many months since I've done actually one. Team endurance. Although we're kind of definitely dealing with a bit of issues on that front. Because, you know, getting the people, but like, I do know at least, I mean, Jordan is still on my side, it's... Rainy is still interested. I mean, I do spend... did mention that Kat was doing practice stream, but she has sort of slightly stonewalled me with this. And I'm not sure if she genuinely is one of the people who dislikes me and doesn't tell me, which was kind of one of the big issues with this thing. People just not telling me that they have an issue with me. I'm getting those like, hey, would you kindly leave me alone sort of vibes occasionally from her. When it comes to me like, hey! With like, hey, you want to do endurance? Like, okay, fine. There's also the consideration of joining X-Ring, the Chinese team. Which Rainy is part of. Because, you know, I don't have a team and I don't think I'm really in a position to recruit people. So having people is already a decent start, that's why around. And going back to, you know, just being in a team. The issue with X-Ring is that it's definitely me accepting to not be the fastest. Because that's for sure not something I can get out of them. Joining them. I maybe be able to beat Midnight, but Midnight isn't even the fastest out of that team. And I'm not beating Midnight on lap times, I'm beating Midnight by just simply finishing a race. Okay, Jesus. Should have raced the right height. Okay. Oh yeah, we didn't fix... Well, the tire pressures are a bit high on the fronts now, even. I have no idea of where... Oh, the gap is opening up in front of me. They're still relative... Well, the problem is that's Sector 1 beam, but Sector 1 is not that far back, that's... The question is, where's actually the Sector 2 beam on this track again? Sector 1 beam is after Schwedenkreuz. When you turn into Foxhole. It's also where the pit lane opens. That's why you can't do a shortcut on the first lap to do repairs if you had an accident on the first corner. You have to actually do a full opening lap or two. No other options. Okay, and at least the top 3 are right in front of me. That's visual confirmation. Ah, yes, right, you have actually the visual of the entire standings. I don't. Well, the leader is broken away, definitely. The leader is the main concern for me. Yeah, we don't have visual for the leader. Where he is. Because the leader is about as fast as me, so... That's the main concern. Yeah, I was also expecting sort of the leaderboard plugin to work, but like... That one has been unreliable, to say the least. From time to time. Yeah, P2 is definitely holding up the field right now. Can obviously see the leader. Oh yeah, that's immediately problematic amounts of breakaway. I've not made up that much ground. Probably lapping faster than me. So yeah, you can see him all the way down. I mean, I can see him, but like I don't know how many pixels you have left, because he's like 3-4 pixels tall. I can identify that as a car, but like that's it. I mean, we're still 2 seconds behind the last place, and you know they were 10 seconds off the pace qualifying, so not having caught up to them yet is not good. Chance for you to see it. Yeah, he opened up with a 9:07. I got clocked with a 10:28 because my time probably started ticking when I spawned in. It was an overcook of a braking zone. How do I read my own dashboard at this point? It's been so long I forgot how to read my numbers here. Yeah, that's the laps. I have about 9.5 laps worth of fuel in the car right now. That definitely was not something I changed on my wheel. No, go to 1. Because it's a slight disaster if this thing engages into 0. Moza steering wheels with random activation of the rotary switch. Although usually it has been the engine mixture switch. Not the other ones. I've not seen those randomly activate really. Okay, that's a bit hard from him in. But not close enough to pass him from that. Yeah, we had to take a pit lane start here. What are you doing, my friend? Well, that's a bit hot then. Spooked him. Spooked him successfully. Pass one more guy, and I have actually vaguely a gap idea of where the leader is. But again, I have not particularly good hopes that the leader is. I'm able to catch the leader, at least not on pace. Considering we are dealing, however, with a 2-hour race, and I'm running a splash and dash strat that might work out for me still anyway. Might. It's a strong word. We no! It's not something I really needed. Should really do be gapping, yeah. Sheesh.
Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
That's not something you usually do on a car you're in the same car as you. Right, yeah, leader, 16 seconds ahead. That is definitely substantial. And obviously Paris has also jumped 5 seconds ahead. So even he's a bit of a task to catch. Bounce there! It's Vipperman. Quite intense. At least this car lands relatively stable after the jump. Despite the battle bottoming out there. Yeah, we're losing to Paris as far as I can tell. Come on. Fuck no! No! No!
Light damage at the rear.
No! No, for fuck's sakes. Where's the last guy? Did they both pass me? I guess they both passed me. Yeah, this does not want to be my race. Yeah, me being fucking stupid like a complete idiot and mounting that curb. 18 seconds. So not great. That is definitely substantial. Could have been worse, but frankly, like, how much? Well, our top speed seems to be alright, I guess. I don't know. We have to continue. What an utter disaster. I'm making a complete fool out of myself. It just doesn't want to be my day today, I guess. Okay, and this time around the brakes slowed the car down. Brilliant. Brilliant. I do have gap calculation working now on my dash, so I can actually see proper gaps. They're not just guesstimations. What I mean by this is that it takes the lap time and then divides it evenly throughout the lap. That's the guesstimation. And guesses based on that what the gap is, which is it gives you a gap, I guess, but like it fluctuates pretty heavily around the lap. The proper way of doing it is to use the delta, same way that you display a delta, and use that, and that is in large part stupidly accurate. Yeah, we're not making much inroads even on these guys anymore. It's embarrassing. To say the least. Like a second only over the GP circuit. When people are 10 seconds per lap slower. It's not much. Oh yeah, I think maybe? I don't know. Maybe we're suffering from some air damage. Whee! That's not supposed to happen. But yeah, we're losing even ground to them. If we lost half a second, we just cannot make it back up. As people are this much slower, it's like, yeah, this is bad. bad, bad. Am I really though? That's a good question. And also, I don't really want to take the damage repairs. Oh yeah, if the delta here is accurate, that's probably me actually losing ground. Already having lost like 4.5 seconds. Oh, hello, car. Brakes currently work. Problem is, I don't have actually any good fuel calculation because the fuel calculator couldn't get a good lap in. It needs at least one best lap that is clean enough to guesstimate how many laps we have in the race. But so far we've had only bad laps, so that's a bit of a problem. It is calculating right now 25 liters needed to finish the race. And 25 liters is what we can fit into the car right now. Differently, if we fulfill the car at this point, right? Fix it, fulfill the car. We could maybe get to the end after this lap. Right. Because fuel capacity is 115 liters, we're carrying right now 87, by the time we're at the pit lane, we should have at least 35 liters. Now, if I'm a lap wrong, that is 10.8 liters. It's not particularly good. It should be within the ranges of doable here. Again, still my average lap is so drastically bad. Because even the lap that I'm getting deltaed against right now, that one will suddenly shoot back up, so it's all a bit of a problem. But yeah, I'm not feeling like I'm losing as much time as I am actually losing. And only the fact that I'm losing a bunch of ground to the cars in front of me, and the fact that... Wait, then I was 27 seconds ahead? Oh yeah, because they drove for the section that I had my accident on. Oh yeah, it's using my yeah, the delta is really against my qualifying lap. That's interesting. That's what my that's highly interesting to figure out. Yeah, during qualifying I lost about 10 seconds there with that incident. Jesus. Yeah, we sort of need to do at least one more lap. I just do not trust me being able to get to the end from this point. I kind of don't want to get an extra pit stop in. Possible. Yeah, Capsy is still doing sub 9 minutes. It's just not something I can touch, even if everything went right. We could do gamble on it. We for sure could gamble on it. There's an hour 32 remaining. Nah, we're not gambling it. Do one more lap.
Right up, mate. The fastest lap so far.
Yeah, 9 minutes 15, which is as fast as my Qualy lap. Gives an idea of how much the car is balked. Okay, now it's suggesting only 10 liters. Great, awesome. I could have technically put it here, because it's starting to guess even less fuel needed to get to the end than assumed before. Ingenious. You know, I thought we're gonna even to those guys in front of me lose another 5 seconds. This is at this point just a recovery drive to the podium. Because I think that's still possible, but I don't think even P2 is possible. Car wants to over-rotate now. I don't like this because I want to run the tire set for the next 2 hours. Tires are quite dead at this point already. Funny part is we're way better on pace this time around. I don't get it. It's like I didn't fix the car, obviously. Is it just that we were fuel heavy? This was causing us to lose most of our pace? It doesn't make sense. Like, well, why are we now only 5 tenths behind? The last lap we were 4 seconds. I'm not driving. Jesus Christ! I've completely unlearned how to drive. Like, what was that? It's like a complete amateur driving through corners here and then suddenly losing the car nearly. And just about gathering it up. Miles off the limits, just nowhere. I've not had a crash. And like such a loss of just abilities before. Like just all of my skill gone in the span of 2 weeks. I've gone for like nearly months without driving and like been fine, but this? This I do not get, huh? Oh yeah, right, it is now not calculating against my... it's not calculating against my all-time best anymore because we have a valid lap and it's now calculating against my previous lap. Because it's my fastest race lap. Right, if you remember how your fucking delta works, it would help, Lucas. Maybe adding a marker that tells you which mode it is in would also help. Because, yeah, obviously we're not losing as much ground to the previous lap. The fact that we lost a little half second early on the lap was still not good. Come on. Jesus, it wants to really murder me for some reason. I don't get why. Maybe we do just change onto the fresh set that shouldn't be fresh. Because I'm not gonna run the rest of the race like this. Okay, come on. Where did my fuel to add suddenly disappeared? It's still predicting. No, it is 26 liters. I was looking at the wrong number, I just realized. We at least have a pretty long run through the pit lane here. Set everything up. So. Up those things. Sick, full fuel. 40 liters extra, 44 liters extra, which is technically not enough to do 2 extra laps. So. Right, waiting for the damage repairs to fix. Obviously it's gonna take a long time here.
Let's go, 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 go. Low time cushion, stay clear of the curbs.
Yeah, would be more typical Brands hatch race than anything else. With how this has gone so far. Like, whenever you think you're starting to recover from the disaster, you get hit twice as hard in the face with it. So let's see what we can do here. Yeah, obviously a bunch to make up. Come on, Lucas. Should have probably just increased the right hand on this car. Should have solved all of my problems. Fuck, 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 fuck. No, 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 no. Come on! I fixed my car just to get 9 seconds worth of damage again. Oh. What is these rookie hours that I'm pulling here? This is stuff you would see on someone who drives in the fucking V-Track AM class. No offense, but like, I expect a bit more for myself. We've sure seen some people have races like that. And then it's even for them not a particularly good race. They just drive from the side of one accident to the next one. As I applied earlier on the lab. This is basically a Brands Hatch race, and I was making up ground again. You can guess what? Of course it can immediately bites me back. But yeah, how just jumpy this car is over the bumps here is just completely catching me off guard today. Similar issue with the 992 here, but the difference was that it was only in qualifying. That went away in the race on higher fuel and better setup. Maybe I forgot to min-max the dampers, and it probably... Although it is all one of the great wisdoms is the dampers don't do actually as much as you think they do. So really, it probably doesn't matter that I didn't touch them. And the thing is, I would like to at least finish the race. I don't want to retire, right? I don't want to make a retirement, but man, the incentives are good right now. The incentives for retiring out of this race sure are promising. Hello, Cal. Well, still gaining on the guy directly in front of us, but the other one in front of him has also gotten a breakaway at this point. So we are starting to have to downgrade our expectations from competing for maybe salvaging a podium out of this 5-car grid to maybe not finishing last. No, we don't want to die again. Jesus, Lucas. I'm not present here. It's pretty clear I am physically maybe there, but also not really. But definitely. Lights are on, but nobody's home. Sort of a deal with me. I think the guy in front of us also has damage. Gaining a lot on the straights here. Wouldn't be the biggest surprise. Oh, well, it's the Nordschleife, so, you know. If we're dealing with someone who's 10 seconds off the pace, then yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, we still need to make up quite a bit of ground because we obviously lost all the time we spent repairing the car. Which isn't quite for nothing, the car is probably a bit more performant than it was before. So, you know. Even with my stupid accident. Noch über halbe Rennzeit verbleibend hier. Verdammt nochmal. Wie lang dieses Rennen ist. Got the German started speaking German. What do you mean? Did I started actually speaking German by accident? That would be insane. I didn't even notice that. Holy hell. Nope, nope, nope. Stay under control. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. That's a level completely non-presence that I don't think I have ever thought to attain. Hello, brakes. Would you kindly turn up? So I'm not sure we're really gaining on P3 at all. For sure we're running down P4. Getting a lot of ground on him. We can... not this lap, probably the next one they will come in. Most people. Maybe some run longer. Still cool. Occasionally I get a corner, it just feels right, and then I just drive corners, just... I don't know. But the car drives me more around the corner than I drive the car around the corner. It's been a long time since I felt this much out of control. .14 from P3 in front. Jesus Christ, car. .916 from P4 in front. And then we have to see what we will get. Probably another 9-minute flat, which we should be able to lap. We didn't have damage. But probably even without damage we wouldn't be able to do. Because I seem to suffer from pretty bad skill issue today. I can't even do the simplest things. 9 overtures in the pits. It's fine. Yeah, but we're so much slower here up the hill. And we had our damage. I didn't even really notice. That's 58, 59, 9 minutes already. And I poured 9 minutes 6. Yeah, we're gaining 10 seconds per lap on the cars in front, but still, it's not great. When your leader is like 7 seconds faster than you, you sure know that you're not in the right place. Oh, would you kindly not kill me? Thank you. Timer's moving really slowly today. Slower than usual. Sorry. Treat. Yeah, it does remind me one of the interesting things about this circuit is that there's a lot more trees these days here than there were back in the day.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
You drive all the versions of this circuit, there's a lot less trees next to it in a lot of places, especially early on in the lap. Down towards Hatzenbach, then up to Schwedenkreuz, to Flugplatz. Doesn't mean there weren't any. It's just a lot more hedges instead. No guardrails, only hedge. In comparison to a guardrail, the hedge just eats your 1960s Formula 1 car, with you included. Although probably the oddest part of that, of the old circuit, is DerGeneralFluff being not a simple upslope, but instead a undulating up-down straightaway. Just, that is something that is quite odd to see when you're not used to it. Brakes. I'm matching myself 1-to-1 right now on this lap, basically. That's interesting. miles off the apex. Come on. Reality is that 1 second minus it displays on the dashboard there is in reality about only half a second up. Ooh, I'm not get validated. I don't know why I can't take that section flat. And nobody's pitting, so I guess everybody's decided to go for the no tire change strat. But I changed a set of tires. I shouldn't. Getting a decent chunk of time on the guys in front. Not two at least. Brakes? Nope. Didn't want to turn up this time around. We lost some time off turn one. Surprising after a no-show for brakes. So long to go. Nothing really happening. Only 52 to 53 minutes to go. Yeah, 52 and a half. Only. Classic optimist pessimist perspective of the glass is half full or half empty. In this case, half the race is still to go. But hey, we have to still make up more ground to these guys in front. After all, we're barely getting Moolah right now into a range that even with a full service, he would drop behind me. I mean, I was over 20 seconds behind when we came into pits, and then obviously we lost some time. We lost another 18 seconds of the pit stop, and then we lost some time with our wall hit. So yeah, it's why it's usually not worth it to repair. Because yeah, either way you're just fucked and not gonna make up the time again. Against these two, I'm vaguely able to make a dent in the gap. Broke way too early there. Brakes, please. Fuck. Yikes. Don't check the weather while you're driving through a corner.
Got some severe damage in the front.
I think I'm done. Yeah, the suspension is knacked. I have no clue what just happened! What was that? Yeah. 40 seconds worth of repair. Nah. I would genuinely like to know as well. Applied the brakes and the car just came around there. As said, this thing just bounces over every single bumper that it finds in the road, and it's just kind of continues to be my problem. Skips like a rock over everything. Skips like a rock on water. Oh yeah, we will park it. I have enough. Sorry. I was definitely not in the right mind space to run this race. It sure as hell was a demonstration of that. It is an utter embarrassment what I delivered here tonight. Complete embarrassment. Oh, Jesus Christ. To say under-delivered is an understatement. That's not in terms of results, this is just in terms of how badly I drove. And yeah, that brake bias is me actually moving over the rotary switch. In this case, because I'm holding the steering wheel a bit on the top left. Oh yeah. What time is it right now? It's nearly midnight. So I think we will call it at that point. I go to bed, I sleep at a reasonable time. At 6 in the morning. Like last night. And then I have planned it's not a flying stream. There's a JP event. So I will fly from Osaka up to Tokyo, Haneda with the DC-3, and that's what I planned for the afternoon. It's an afternoon stream. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'll tell you, before this race went here, I mean, God knows if I have another disaster flight, because it's been a bit since I flew the DC-3. And the aircraft definitely a tad challenging. Okay, man, shit happens. Yeah. Just, I think it is very much at this point the time to just call it. It's like... there is a point where you just need to accept it, like, no. This is not gonna improve anymore, this race. This is just getting worse and you just hurting yourself and continue. There is a point to quit. Perseverance is important, but it is always important to recognize when it just keeps getting worse. When it keeps hurting you to quit. So yeah. Yeah. As I said, I'm skill issuing pretty badly today. Oh, the guys in front of me on the pits. One of them at least. I think it was P3 that came into pits here. We'll probably see him exit before I even come into the pit lane. Oh god, look at the speeds! We're holding 220 over the hill, barely. Oh god. We're like 35 kilometers per hour slower right now over the hill here. Yeah, he's out again. 38 seconds ahead. That was the wrong button. Accidentally activated the indicator. Right. So yeah. Couldn't park the car. We need I need to figure out a series, but it has perhaps more than 5 people in it, and I need to drive better. Desperately need to drive better than this. I was thinking about doing maybe an endurance race next week, because there are a couple ones, but, you know, again, I need to actually hit up people for this. I think Capsy might have done his pit stop, because he's not leading anymore. Right. We have to set up at least safety. So there's that. Yeah, the suspension definitely was not min-maxed here. That will definitely need to happen for V2. Next race is in 2 weeks, so we shall see. I will show up again for this, because I for sure have something to prove here. But otherwise I will leave the survey here and just let them finish the race. There's no point in me staying around the next 42 minutes just to watch them finish. Oh, my wheelbase is very warm. Can I take it in my bed and cuddle with it? A small stove. Nah. No, we're not doing that. Alright, let's wrap this up. Oh yeah. Cat has just wrapped up and handed over to Liv on Twitch. So that's fun. Opponent continuing on points. I'll be back next week. Right. So, would like to drop something else briefly. Although I threw my gloves over there. The track I've actually not driven with the Porsche yet. Gone basically everywhere with the Porsche now. Barcelona, yep, done Brands. Yeah, maybe not Brands. Hungaroring. Yeah, definitely. The Drain Race Misano, yep. Monza? No, I don't think so. Nürburgring? I've done the Nords, but I don't think I've done GP actually. Floricalt, yep. Silverstone, I'm not sure. Spa definitely. Valencia we've done. Sandwards? Oh yeah, right, I had that lightning launch there. For sure I've done. Oh yeah, Monza I've definitely also done. Yeah, I remember now. Because I've been driving the Porsche a lot longer than I just remembered. Snetten we've done. Solder? Yeah, I raced at Solder with the Porsche. Nürburgring, Imola. Red Bull Ring, Alton Park, Snetterton, we've unfortunately also driven before. Donington, Kota we've driven. Indianapolis, Watkins Glen, definitely also with the Porsche already. Mount Panorama, I think, maybe? I'm gonna say I'm not sure. Second Kyalami. There's definitely a couple ones that I think I have not driven yet, but sure, we're gonna load that on. Sure, we're gonna load that on again. Just for extra pain. Snelton set up the set that never wanted to work.
Green light, go, go, go.
Hello, stop that. I think I might have also set up the Cayman a lot too loose. Okay, that's not right. How much faster this is than the cable. I mean, this track also approaches you pretty fast. Speed! Porsche isn't even that fast. Broke very early there. Oh, it's still overshot. Hilarious. might have just unlearned how to drive a GT4 car. That might have just happened. Because I'm sure I'm not driving this perfect, but like it feels a lot better. And this is saying something considering this was the track combo that really didn't click with me. This was a track combo that just didn't want to work with me. And I'm sure it's still not working, but it's better. Yeah, I mean, that also, but it's like, you know, the Cayman is not particularly difficult as a GT4 car to drive. As I noticed when I did my hot lap here, I think I might have set up the Cayman too loose. I might have gone too much on you, like, yeah, let's just remove all the rear downforce and get it to rotate. That might have been a bit too aggressive. 48, I don't think great. I would have to check what lap time I was doing, but like, it's not terrible. It's at most like a second or so off the pace of myself. And yeah, it's been just a very long time that I've driven anything that isn't this car here specifically. And it is, after all, a quite particular car. I think the last time I've driven something else was when I competed in the track Nations Cup back in very early January. When I drove the Audi R8 and was not particularly impressed by it. Totally on the brakes even. But yeah, we're getting even lap time out of it slowly. I've become a Porsche 992 merchant. Can't even drive a different Porsche anymore. Completely unable to drive anything that is something else. Although, I mean, I had also driven, I think in January, the Nissan. I like that one as well. Who would be impressed by the R8 truly? No, I don't think... I'd driven in December briefly the R8. I'd tried that one out around Silverstone. I was not impressed with that either. The default setup came so understeer it wasn't even funny. Like, it was just stupidly understeer on the aggressive trim. Like, completely unusable. Like, levels of understeer that is comparable to the 570S GT4, which infamously does not turn in any high-speed corner whatsoever. That thing is just pure understeer. But it's vaguely fun because you just go on a straight and just go Clarkson. But yeah, we're in the 47s now. this gonna be good enough to actually qualify anywhere on pole with a half decent grid? Nah. Was I able to go faster back then? Maybe, I'm not sure. Conditions were different probably as well. Is this good enough? Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. And I think I desperately needed this here. I mean, I'm sure any other circuit would have done it with this car, but... You know, this was definitely the reinsurance that, no, this is... You're still capable of driving. But not quite as... omnipresent as you might have been at some point. Just be able to jump into any car on any track and just be able to do well. Occasionally the Nordschleife will get here. If you just take it on a bit too easy of a burner. Especially considering also I've done on my Moza wheelbase here only basically this car in this game. But it do be a car that just drives. If you have the hang of it, I quite like this car at all.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
It can be a piece of shit, and you have to manhandle it quite a lot, but that's what I love at times. Just that launch out of corners. That engine noise. That feeling when you just get the rotation right. It's glorious. Okay, that's a bit wide. Come on. Yeah, I might actually have to practice till next week with the Caymen. Well, not next week, I mean in 14 days. Let's go for another lap. Let's try one more. And if it's not a good one, we come to the pits. At the end of the lap. I think we... Sub 47 would be a long shot, but I think otherwise possible. I shifted, I think, a bit too early here, but I think it is necessary to short shift there. Lost a bunch of time there. Oh, that's not good. That wasn't a good turn. I think it might be possible to go sub 47.
Well done, mate. That's all best.
I mean, I think I can do it. If I compose the lap together, but I don't know how long I'm gonna spend with that. That unthrottle rotation through that left hand is just something of an experience. It's too wide again. So let's just come into the pits. It sure is a lot like on this thing. Using every last inch of the track there. I would say I still got it. Thanks for the track suggestion. I would have probably not picked this one. And I think no other track would have made it quite as clear that this was just not a good race tonight, rather than me completely being washed up. I'm sure there's many factors that may or may not include the Cayman itself, the setup, me not having driven much GT4s, the whole 9 yards. What matters in the end is that I think I can still perform when it is necessary. So yeah, right. Okay then. I shall be back in about, well, I think that's about 14 hours or so. For another flight stream. At least C3 across Japan. That's gonna be vaguely interesting. Let's hope the controllers don't utterly want to crucify me for forcing them to actually talk English. Which, yeah, according to VATSIM rules, they need to be able to. So, I'm not too evil, but it's still, you know, evil. Right? But yeah, right. Okay then. Good night. Bye bye. See you next time. And I may also do your truck stream at some point.